I'm Hansel here with my coder bro Wayne, and we are going to the White Castle. Kind of like the movie, we think of a White Castle as the happy place destination that you went through lots of adventures to get to. And like Harold and Kumar, we of course are so Asian. And so our guests are too. And so let's hear the adventures of our Asian friends as they find their very own White Castle. Wayne, who do we got on us today with us today?
Oh yeah, we have somebody on us today. So let's see here.
Yes, we do. Who's on us?
And yeah, who's on us? Our guest today graduated from Columbia with a CS degree. Woohoo for CS.
Nice.
Always like that. He's had a very successful career in the tech world, companies like Science, Softbank. She's also a mom and an avid golfer. So let's welcome Karen Wang.
Oh. I'm wondering how you're going to introduce her, Wayne.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, Kong, why am I calling you Kong? I guess you can explain that. But welcome to the show. Why don't you start us off by telling us just a high-level bit about yourself, however you want.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Let's see, a little bit about me. So grew up, born in Boston.
Where's the Boston accent? I've never heard. In Boston.
You can park your car here.
Park the car in the back.
You
never sounded like that at all. Yeah.
It's probably because I moved when I was 3. So that explains it. So lived in Boston, grew up there for a couple years, moved to Michigan for a few years, moved back to Boston, and then got landed in Maryland. At the time, my dad was like tech, so he moved a ton around. So was in Maryland since 3rd grade. Grew up there, typical Asian upbringing, like at the end of the school year, went to the, teacher for the math of the next year and asked for the book so that I could do it over the summer.
But back in the day, though, there was no mathnasiums and Russian math and all that crap, right? It would just be like you and your dad, but you would still go a year ahead. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the typical Asian kid summer was basically like, okay, like in the morning, I had to be like, my dad would be like, here, learn how to program. Like, I'm going to you ask me to enter a number, you tell me if it's prime. And it's like,
prime number generator.
Okay.
Nice.
Prime number generator.
Determinator, I guess.
So I had to do that. And then it was always at the end of the school year. So if I was in 2nd grade, I'd go up to the 3rd grade math teacher and be like, can I please buy your math book? And then basically I'd have to go through the whole book over the summer.
I don't remember ever doing that. I guess that's why you got to Columbia.
Yeah, I guess
I did not get into Columbia.
Yeah, so that was, we always did that in the morning, and then in the afternoon I got to go out and play. But that was pretty much, there was no tutoring. I mean, my parents were going to pay for tutors. Like,
it wasn't even
crazy.
A thing when
it's a self-study, and it wasn't even an option of you could do it or not. Like that was what you're doing.
So was it a pretty hardcore household, would you say?
Hardcore, yes. I mean, like, you couldn't after dinner. So we finished dinner at 7. So it was like you could not, if anyone called me. So back in the day, for anyone who's young, like people called on the phone, like attached to the wall, right?
Yeah.
So my dad would answer, and he'd be like, "Call her back at 9:30." So the rule was like, as soon as after dinner, I had to be upstairs in my room studying, no phones, and then I can only talk after 9:30.
Wow.
And so, like, and it was that. I think I got a B in spelling once, and that didn't go over very well.
Did you get a whooping? Like, when you get a B?
My age, yeah. So then I had to like go and study like crazy, like, spelling words, for the rest of my life. And I might have even gotten like a B+ in handwriting, which also was like, did not go very well. I was like in the 2nd grade.
In handwriting, that's hilarious.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I think typical Asian upbringing household, right? Where it was just school was obviously very important. And so that was like, if I had a B, it was like sweating, like you're like, oh my God, how am I going to tell my dad this? And, you kind of go downstairs and like tears start coming down your, you hand them the report card.
So was it like you were only applying to like all the best schools, all the Ivies? Was Columbia like was that part of your target all along, or your parents' target?
No, my brother went to Columbia. I mean, I think obviously school was very important. And for them, it was like, whatever school you get into, we're going to pay for it. Right. So I had a lot of friends that said, I can only go to a state school. That's all my parents are paying for.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I was like, but the new BMW in your driveway was good. Like, they're
Yeah.
giving you that, but they're not going to pay for yours. We're Asians. I'm like, the Asians are opposite. Like, none of us got cars when we turned
Right.
16, but you want to go to some private school, like
They'll take out a loan. Yeah,
they
if
would
you
take out
got
a
into
loan.
like Ivy League, they literally will take a second mortgage out to have you
Yes.
Yeah.
go to the Ivy Leagues.
Yes,
But
totally. I mean, that's why we moved into our neighborhood. My parents moved to Maryland, and every realtor, they're like, we just want to move to the best school district. Like,
right.
Yeah.
they didn't
Yeah.
care like what house. They're like, find us a house that is this much in the best school district, because that's where we're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. That's what it's
So
like now too.
yeah.
So how did you do all the sports? Because we're talking earlier that you're super athletic. You're like one of the more athletic people that I know. How did that happen? Because that's not typical either. Did you play a lot of
Yeah,
sports?
Were
I
your
played.
parents athletic?
My dad was athletic. My brother's super athletic, and I was a
Oh,
tomboy growing up, right? So it would
Hmm.
be like if my brother and my dad were playing baseball, like I was like the kid running between the bases, like trying to tag me out or something like that. I was, to this day, my brother used to set me up on a hockey goal, and he would put the pads and stuff on me so he could shoot on me, and I basically just
I can
and I would
That's
picture
just
awesome.
that.
stand there, and I'm
And you
just
just
to
stand
this
there trying
day, and I'm like,
not to get.
do you remember when you used to shoot on me? And he laughed, but he was super athletic. So I think I just naturally picked stuff up. So played like tennis, basketball, softball,
Oh wow.
soccer when I was younger. So
Dang.
it
So
was a
so you had the full resume then. So you got all the good grades. You're studying all the time. Plus you had the sports.
I had the sports. I think the one thing that was probably an Asian fail for me is piano and violin. I mean, I took it,
Oh, you
right?
did
Like
take it.
I
Okay.
did my time. I
Okay.
got
Did
my
the standard.
violin and I took it, and it was always like, oh crap, like piano teacher's coming, and I'd be like step like practicing, like I'd
Right
write
before.
I wouldn't even learn how to read music. I would just I'd cheat and write this is A or C like over
Yeah.
the notes, and then I'm practicing
Yeah.
like 15 minutes before she comes, and and the teacher, I think
Yeah.
after a while, my parents were like, all right, like,
So
let's
you
stop
didn't take
wasting
it much past what, high school? You took those two during high school?
high school. No, I mean,
Not even high school.
I think I got out of all that probably by the time middle school came running
Oh,
around.
that is
Like,
a fail.
Okay.
but
There's
I
your
took
fail
it.
right there. But
I
still,
did
you were
do my
doing it.
duty as a Chinese,
Nice.
a good Chinese child. I did do
Yeah.
violin. I did
And
do
piano.
piano. Both my
Okay.
brother and I did, but I think my parents just knew. So that was probably my, where I didn't live up to the
Did
name.
not excel in
Yeah.
music, I guess.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then speaking of the name, tell us the story of the name. So I called you Kong, Wayne called you
Oh
Karen.
yeah.
What is the name story?
So
Yeah.
yeah. So my real name is Kong-Lin. Like, so Kong-Ling, right, is the Chinese name,
Kong-Lin.
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So, and funny enough, my dad, Kong-Ling was the Chinese name, and so, Asian parents, my parents were born in Taiwan, lived here. So I guess when they were telling the hospital, my dad was trying to say, oh, her middle name is Carlene, because I think like Carlene sounds like
Yeah.
Kong-Ling, right?
Okay.
And I
Is that
Yeah.
think
your actual middle name is Carly? Or he was
the
just trying to
nurse
say
was
it?
like, Karen. And so
Oh.
So I guess my dad had such a heavy accent. Maybe they didn't understand what Carlene was. And so
Carlene, Karen.
Karen,
Yeah.
and so my birth certificate said
That's funny.
Kong-Lin Karen Lee. And
Oh,
that
that's
just was,
oh,
and so I was like, okay, Dad, that's great. So, but all through school, I mean, so I was always a May May. So
mm,
for anyone who's, would know, May May
mm.
means little sister in Chinese. So I always say to people, there's Didi and May May. So if you scream either of those in a park, 50% of the people will turn around and be like, you must
Yeah,
be,
that's
little
right.
brother is
Who, me?
Didi and May May is
Yeah.
little. So May was always something I went by growing up.
Mm.
Then I entered school, and then I think I went as Kong-Lin. And I guess it was fine. It never really bothered me too much.
So
Like my
this is
brother's,
Maryland where there are still other Asians who are like, oh, Kong-Lin's totally fine. Like
yeah, I
it's a
think I
normal
just didn't
name.
know any better. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I started in kindergarten in Michigan. Um, I must not have known any better. So I think I just was like Kong-Lin, though my brother knew
Kong-Lin,
better,
Kong-Lin.
right? Because my brother is Andy, and his Chinese name is Ziwei. And I think he was
Hmm.
like, no way in hell am I going to school named Ziwei.
Zway.
Zway. Yeah. I mean,
Zway.
So,
smart choice. Smart
yes.
choice. I
So
would
he
take
went as,
Andy a hundred
yes.
thousand times over
Wait,
Zway.
So,
but I thought, isn't it a Chinese thing to always have the same character for
uh,
siblings? You guys don't do
That's
that?
right.
Like
So for
Kong-Lin versus
our
Kong.
Lee
Certain history.
family, all the boys are Zi. So Zixing, Ziwei, like all the
Okay,
boys
boys
and
and
all
And
the
the
girls.
girls are
girls are
Kong
Ling,
or
Ling,
Ling.
Lin. So all of my
Okay.
cousins, we all have Ling in our Chinese name, and all the boys have Zi as their first. Yeah,
Oh,
but you're
okay,
right.
okay.
Some people have the same. Like my three kids have the same character that they
Mm.
share. So I guess
Oh,
it
okay,
just
okay.
depends on how it happens. So anyway, so I guess somehow I didn't care, or I got roped into guilt tripped into being like, take on this Chinese heritage and go as your name. So I was like, okay, fine. So Kong-Lin was something that I grew up in. So all through high school, I think when people, so I always tell my kids, hey, when someone calls me something, you'll know how they know me by. So if anyone calls me Kong-Lin, then I was like, you know that I know them from high school or younger. And then I got to college, and then everyone picked up Kong or Conger. And I said,
Right.
so all my college friends will call me Kong. And so like camp
Oh,
friends too will call me Kong. So Kong, and I said, so everyone calls me Kong, you know that I know them either through camp or through college. And then, so funny enough, in college, I was sending out resumes. I think maybe it was like my sophomore year. Um, I on my resume it says Kong-Lin Karen Lee, right? So that's how it is, and it's got everything. And I would get job rejection letters addressed to Mr. Lee, like Mr. Kong-Lin Lee, and I'm like, well, that's weird. Like, why would they just automatically assume that? Even though, like, in my resume, which is funny, would say like Columbia Women, like
mm,
Columbia's Society of Women Engineers,
mm.
right? So
Yeah.
clearly, none of these people are reading your resume, right?
Yeah.
Because you'd pick up that I was a woman, but they address
Yeah.
it to Mr. So there is that, bias already against Asian males. Um, and so I did get a letter from Citibank that addressed it to Miss Karen Lee, even
Hmm.
though Karen was in the middle. And then it just kind of, and I just happened to take that job and it stuck. But in high school, I worked at IBM and I worked as Kong-Lin Lee. And so they're like, oh, this is our new intern, Kong-Lin. And then they'll be like, and so a lot of times people are like, okay, I didn't get that.
Yeah,
Because,
Yeah.
right. Or a
yeah,
lot of people are like, hey, Kong, because I think they thought Lin was my last
right.
name.
Middle name
Well,
or
because,
something.
right. And
Yeah.
so you would get all these accessories like, hey, Kong. And I'm like, hi, and like, that's weird that someone's calling me such a. So it was just kind of a hodgepodge. So I think when I got Karen, I went to work as Karen at Citibank. I was like,
Mm.
oh, this is way easier. Like I say my
Yeah.
name, people
Nobody gets
know what I'm
confused.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I still
even
get
now,
that with Hansel. I mean, Hansel's a pretty dang hard name to get also.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Um,
and and I admit, like sometimes if someone comes and I get like someone tells me their Indian name or something, or even a Chinese
yeah.
name, I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I didn't get that. And so I'm not
Yeah.
Right.
gonna like butcher it. And so I just won't say it. And so there is that bias of like, now no one knows your name, no one's gonna come address you.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
but
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
so it's basically your professional name because Citibank
Yes.
called you Karen. And so then did you just
So
start you
from then
just went
on, yeah. So
you
from then
became
on, I was
American.
like, I
From then
became a
Became a white
on.
Karen. I
person.
became a Karen before Karen
But I
was a
think,
terrible thing to
Yeah,
become.
you became
yeah,
a
you
Karen.
became the Karen, the mom.
Uh,
Yeah.
don't even get
Before
me
the
started on that
name.
whole thing.
That has to be awesome.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Did that affect? I mean, that's a totally different topic. But did that affect you? Like when Karen started becoming like a bad name? Like,
Well, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, fine. This is just gonna blow over. Like
yeah,
whatever, right? Like, and then
Yeah.
like to this day, I think like year 7 or something, it's like
Yeah. It's
yeah.
not
everyone's
blowing
It's
like
still
over.
a
around.
Karen
It's still,
fan like
yeah.
assaults
It's,
that woman in
Yeah.
The
and they
Phillies,
used Karen in
and they're
there.
always
Yeah.
like Karen Philly fan like assaults like young boy, and I'm like,
It's
that's her
not
name. Like
blowing
what?
over.
It's
Like
not going
what
away, dude.
is? It's not
Yeah.
going away. Though I
Yeah.
heard Jess is coming as it's being replaced by Jessica,
Oh, I haven't
Oh,
heard that
okay.
one. Wow,
or
is there
maybe I'm
some
just starting that and
Yeah,
I'm just
you're
yeah.
trying to.
starting it right now. You're just like Jessica.
I'm like the new Jessica. Don't be the new Jessica.
That's funny.
So
So
yes,
so
but
you so you started going by Karen, and then that's like Wayne. Did you when you first met Tom?
Yeah,
Was it
it
Karen?
was
Did you
Kong.
know it was Kong?
that's
So
So
because
you
you
knew
knew
it
me
was
through
Kong.
Willie, even
yeah,
though I
so
met you
Willie
at
knew
Cambridge.
her through
Oh,
college level, right?
Yes,
And
wait,
and
how
so
does Willie
Willie
know you
introduced
from
me and
Art?
was like, "This is Kong," and that's all.
yes,
I didn't ever
yes.
hear of
Willie and
Karen.
Art went to MIT together, and that's how I met
Uh,
Willie. And then
okay.
when I
So
met
that was still
Wayne
college
through
years.
Cambridge, yeah, so college, right? So and so
Uh,
for Art was really weird because he was like, "This is my wife," like because he'll call. or when he refers to me as Kong in the presence of people who know me as Karen, and
Right.
generally people just know. I was like, and then they're like, are we okay to call? I'm like, call me whatever you want. Like, I don't care. Call me Kong, Kong-Lin, Karen. Like, doesn't bother me. We have some
Yeah.
friends who are really militant. They're like, call me like this name. Like, I don't want to be called anything else. Like,
Mm.
call me my American name. I'm like, I don't care. Like, call me whatever
Yeah.
you want, right?
You're
And so
multicultural.
I'm yes.
So,
So
so let's see. So now you're not doing CS anymore, right? So you were doing CS for a little while at Cambridge. That's how we met you. But now you're at SoftBank. You want to tell us just super high level, no secrets needed. But what
yes,
what do you do there?
yes. Okay, cool. So oh yeah, so I kind of didn't even get through my I think my
Oh,
years of growing up. So went to in high school, I really loved architecture. And that was like, I'm like, I loved architecture and I did it. And so, but applying to school. And so funny enough, like, so this is when you asked about age and upbringing. So I'm going to take a back road a little bit. So I played soccer growing up. And then so I got to middle school and my dad was like, hey, like, I think you should play tennis. Like, because tennis
Yeah.
is a sport that you'll be able to play as an adult. And I'm like,
Wow. Your
oh, but
dad
I
sounds like
love
my dad.
yeah, and I was like, but I love
Funny.
soccer. And he's like, I know, but tennis. And so that's the very Asian thing is like, all
hmm.
right, I'll go play tennis. Right. And so I left soccer and went and played tennis and, started playing tennis. And then so in high school, when I started applying to colleges, I was like, hey, Dad, I want to apply to become an architect. He's like, you're not going to make any money being an architect. And
That's
I'm
what I
like,
tell my son.
unless
Yeah.
you live in the Bay Area, then that's not true. Because I see a lot of like Maseratis being driven by architects around
No.
here. So, anyway, so I was like, all right. So my dad was a computer scientist. That's why we moved around a ton when we were, and this is back in, in the 80s. So I was like, being the good Chinese daughter, I was like, all right, I will apply to some architecture schools and I will apply to engineering schools.
Hmm.
And so
Wow.
I didn't get into any of the architecture schools I wanted to, which was maybe telling of my talent of that in that field. But I did get into CS at Columbia. So again, I was like, okay, I guess I'll go do the CS thing. And so at the time, which
Yeah, as
people
your backup, like Columbia
as
Yeah.
CS
The
as your
backup.
backup.
fine.
But why
Yeah.
is architecture? I mean, you said showing your talent. Did they ask for a portfolio or
Oh
something?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh.
got to have one of those for
Oh,
architecture.
Yeah. I
okay.
mean, and
Good to
I went to
know.
like a Harvard like architecture summer school kind of thing,
Oh,
and
wow.
so yeah, but I was definitely IMPay apparently is not in my lineage. Like he was not in the line. I'm not related to him at all. So
Okay.
um
Really?
but yeah, so went to CS and then at the time, which is funny enough, I mean, for kids these days, I was one of two girls in computer science at
Hmm.
Columbia, which is
Wait,
crazy.
the
Yeah.
entire Columbia
In
Engineering
the
School?
engineering, it was two of us. It
Two
was me and
girls.
this girl and all
Wow.
these all
Wait,
these
how big was
dudes.
the entire school, would you say?
CS at Columbia at that time probably wasn't that big. I don't know. Maybe there was 20 kids, 20, 25
Oh, okay.
kids.
So pretty small. Okay, so pretty small,
Pretty
but still,
small.
two is crazy.
But they're
Yeah.
like all
Wow.
these nerdy dudes, and then
Yeah.
there's
Are they
two
all
girls.
dorks?
Did they all try to
They were
ask
all
you
hitting on
out?
you?
But they're all too afraid to talk to you, probably. But they all probably wanted to ask you out. Yeah.
I don't know if they wanted to, but yeah, they were all pretty, like if I needed help, it was pretty easy for me to get help. I always,
Give a little
Yeah.
wink.
yes,
Yeah.
I can't remember. There were definitely a few of them that were super nice to me. And like, I still, probably wouldn't have passed Columbia without the help of some of these guys. I was very nice to him. I mean, that was good. So, but yeah, so I did CS at Columbia, and then I got job like I went to IBM. I did Citibank, and out of Columbia, I went to Fidelity. It was like technology 2-year program where like we were like the programmers behind like the like trading desks and stuff.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
So
That's
so I
cool.
I embraced the whole. I actually kind of regret because I was like, God, I probably should have gone into banking or done something. I'd probably be completely living a completely different lifestyle right now. But stayed in tech, did consulting, did Fidelity, left Fidelity and went to Cambridge, which is how I think maybe it's because Willie was there.
Yeah.
So ended up doing that, and from Cambridge went to Scient. We moved
Yeah.
over to the Bay Area, and then from Scient, so Scient imploded. So and that imploded right around the time I was pregnant. And so I think this was 2001, right? So every like .com
The
implosion, everybody
crash, yep.
was crashed,
Yeah.
right? And so at that time, I had worked my whole life. I mean, I had always had jobs. I loved working. And so by this time, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just take some time off, have the baby, spend some time with him. And so went into that, stopped working, but then we were buying a house at the time. And I think, one of the agents, like you just start interacting with some of the realtors and you're like, wow, that's shocking. Like, I mean, the intelligence level is not like is
And they
for
make
some
so
of the
much
And
agents,
they're
for some
like
of the,
driving
yeah.
up in cars that are worth more than your house, kind
Yes,
of.
right. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe I'll get my real estate license while I'm
Yeah.
like raising a baby because, and it was really I got the license to help our friends, right? Because I didn't want to become like this where you go and so I was like, I'll just help our friends of friends and do that, right? And it was just at
Hmm.
least a way to provide some income, something interesting. And I actually liked that whole architecture and homes and stuff.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, back from your architecture.
Right. And so I was
Yeah,
like, okay, so
it's
this is
full
good. So
circle.
I started doing that for, I had another kid and I did that for maybe 8 years and helped people buy homes and remodel because I love doing all that stuff. And then ended up helping somebody after we helped him remodel his house. He had called me and was like, hey, SoftBank's got to open up their office in the Bay Area. Can you help me like just look for office space and just work with like, the architects and builders and just build out an office space? And at
Oh, I
that
didn't
time,
realize it was related to real estate. I mean, I know that's like your head of real estate, but I didn't realize it came from real estate is how you got in.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I mean, I had stopped working, and then I was kind of just in the world of like raising your kids, and
Mhm.
and then I just found that like, God, I'm doing all this free work for PTO stuff, where I'm like, what? I got the school website. I'm like, I couldn't believe we were in the Bay Area, and I'm like, was like, we have no website. Like, how embarrassing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
so I like whipped
That's
one
too
up, and I'm
funny.
like, here, like here's this website that we did, and we did all this stuff and did like I don't know, I was like head of communications for our PTO and raising money and after a while I was like, listen, I'd like to get paid to do all this work. It was like so much and at the time I'm like, I
Yeah.
think it's about time I go back into the work world.
Okay.
Um and then but though I got pregnant with my third, like we were shocked by it because she's 9 years younger than the oldest.
Wow.
And so she
That
was a
is
little bit of a
big
surprise. And
gap.
so big gap. Yeah, I remember crying. I think I putting like diapers in my shopping basket and being like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm putting
Yeah.
Yeah.
diapers again.
Because
And
I mean, I have two, and after the second, and if you have a big gap like that, right, you probably got rid of all the
Different
baby stuff
stage.
and all that. And then if you were all of a sudden, like you said, having to go buy the thing again, the carriage thing, the car
oh,
seat, you're probably just like, wow,
everything. Yeah. I mean, we had two
crazy.
boys first and then our third was a daughter. And so that was fun and exciting, but it was kind of
That's
like,
cool.
holy crap, I'm putting
Yeah.
diapers back in
I didn't
again.
Yeah.
remember. I forgot that it was 9 years. So let's see. So your middle one is
Yeah.
in college second year. So she would still be in like, is that middle school or something still?
Oh yeah. They were six and yeah. So Brady was first grade, and Jake was fourth grade. So they're 3 years
Okay.
apart. So
Yeah.
and then we had moved, and so when she was born, that yeah, they were first and fourth grade. And so, but so
So
at one
now,
point, yeah,
yeah. So now your youngest is what grade?
she's 10th grade.
Oh, she's 10th.
So
Oh, so she's in high school. Okay.
she's in
Okay.
high school
So,
now. So, but there was
okay.
a time where I was in elementary school, middle school, and high school. And I
Yeah.
Mm.
remember like sitting there, funny enough, like I was sitting at open house for my kindergartner. It was like back to school night. And I'm kind of just sitting there and I see this person walk by and she mentioned something about MA, which is where my oldest was in high school, about like, she's like, yeah, my husband's at the MA, like back to school night. And I kind of was like,
MA this school. MA Menlo
MA,
Atherton.
Menlo Atherton High School. And I kind of was like, holy shit, is MA's back to school night right now? And so I was like, oh my God. So I literally like skipped out on the kindergarten back to school night, like flew over to
That's
yeah.
crazy.
And,
That's
and
a
so,
big
yeah,
range.
it was a big range. So yeah, we were there. We were at the elementary school for 15 years. So I was like,
Oh
people are
my
like, you're
gosh.
still there. I'm like, I'm still in elementary
You're
school.
still there.
We were like having
Wow.
friends almost empty nesters. So anyway, sorry, so I digress on that. So your question about how I got to SoftBank?
So yeah, just super high level about SoftBank. Like I think I don't know if everybody knows what SoftBank does, and then what do you do there?
Yeah. So SoftBank's an investment. So it's not. So SoftBank in Tokyo is like the phone, like AT&T over there. So that they're the telecommunications company in Japan. But the SoftBank here in the US is the Vision Fund or the investment firm. So how I got involved with it was, so my friend who was like, hey, I don't like doing this, but can you help us start this office and just make sure people don't take advantage of SoftBank, right? They hear SoftBank and they want to like overcharge us for everything.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
I'm
I would.
like, yeah,
Yeah, they got a
I
lot of
mean, like,
money.
you guys can afford it. You can afford it.
yes. And I was like, I'm Asian. I was like, you got the right woman on the job. Like, no one is
Yeah,
taking advantage. We're going to like negotiate for everything.
that's right.
Um, So basically, I helped them find the space, and then like working with the architects, and so we started building out the office space, just like what we would with a house. But then like I loved it because I was like in there with the architects, like designing the office space and doing
Mm.
all this stuff. And then like the office was built, and then my friend's like, "Can you stay now to run it? Because like who's gonna run it?" So then it was like,
What needs to be
huh,
run with it? I
But
always wonder, like,
yeah, that's
what
like you
wild.
needs to
just,
say, yeah, so everyone thinks you walk into a building and it just kind of it's just like homes, like
yeah,
with
Yeah,
like
you
a
would think.
stay-at-home mom doesn't do anything, right? It's like you don't do
Yeah,
anything,
that's
but
right. Yeah,
somehow the refrigerator's
somehow,
filled, the
yeah,
laundry's folded, your kids are at school, and
somehow.
oh, so
yes,
you do all
typical
the magic.
male, yes, typical. But no, I mean it was more like running it because we basically built out 100,000 square foot building,
Whoa,
right? There
hundred
was
thousand square. That's
Dang.
big.
there was five of us. I mean, like it was like The Shining. You would be walking around being like,
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
"Hello!"
insane.
like
Yeah.
scary twins and riding a tricycle down the hallway. You'd be like, what
Yes.
the
Yeah,
hell?
oh my God. Right. Red room. I mean, so it was
Very
nuts
creepy. Yeah,
because we
almost.
built it and it was like not like there was like a massive, it was like literally five of us. Right. And we were kind of like, but there's a building to run. Like there's like mechanical, like the plumbing, you got to run the toilets. I had a guy that
Yeah.
basically turned on all the showers and flushed all the toilets because I'm like, if you don't, it starts to smell like sewer. Right. And then
Yeah.
there'd be a
Yeah,
time where
yeah.
I
After it
walked
dries
into a
up.
room and I'm like, why is there trash here? And they're like, because you have to hire janitors to come and like clean this place. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh my
What
God, that's
does?
not. And it was like, oh, geez. Like, so I get to hire janitors and, you got to go and hire someone who just tinkers with like the air conditioning and just all the mechanical systems, like the elevators down
Probably
and
light bulbs that just go out and you gotta be,
maintaining
I don't
100,000
know,
square feet. Yeah, there was just a ton of
100,000
stuff
square feet. That's a lot.
That's
and
funny.
then it
That,
was
I did
like,
never think of that. I just feel like as an engineer, we just go in and we rent the space from somebody or whatever. We just do it. Somebody
lights
else
are
takes care
on,
of it.
heat's on,
Lights are
like,
Yeah.
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
everything's
so
clean,
you
bathrooms are
do the
clean.
important stuff.
There's a lot of
Oh,
stuff that happens. And so yeah, so
cool.
anyway, that's kind of how it started, where it was like, okay, and I kind of describe it to people like Groundhog's Day. Do you guys see that with
Yeah.
Bill
Bill
Yeah,
Murray,
Murray.
sure.
right? Where they're
Yeah.
like talking to
Absolutely.
him and they're like, hey, is there a town doctor? And the guy's like, yeah, hold on a second. And he turns around and he puts his like doctor hat
Yeah.
on. And then he's
Right.
like, what about like the post office? And he's like, yeah, 1 second. And then so that was me. So I was like a woman that had like 20 hats. They're like, oh, HR? Yeah, that's me. Finance. I'm like the relocation person. I'm like the janitor. I'm the
Yeah.
facilities person. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I ended up staying there. SoftBank was in the middle of, I think,
Okay.
acquiring Sprint. So one time a month, it was like, 100 people from Japan and Kansas would descend upon the building and just occupy it. And I would call it like the wedding. And like, it was just like a week of just 100, everyone like running around, meetings, board meetings, and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
then
Crazy
SoftBank just
stuff.
took off from there and started hiring.
And,
So
and then back at home, then you are almost empty nesting. I guess we're all getting into that age. Are we
I
are we feeling old
know.
yet? Are you planning for your empty nesting?
Yes. I mean, I haven't, yeah, when the boys left, it was sad, but I was like, your sister's still in elementary school, so I'm not like shedding too
Yeah.
many tears.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But with her, it's different. I mean, definitely sad,
Oh,
I mean,
baby girl. Mm.
she's our baby girl, and I think it's like I feel like we were she's been I don't know, the thought of her leaving does probably make me the most sad of the three. I mean, I love my boys,
Mm.
right? I do love them. But so I don't know. I mean, we're trying to not think about it too much. We're trying to hold on. I know Art's holding on to dear life for her. We're
Yeah. Are
we're
you are
push
you feeling your age because your kids are getting old and like adults? Are
oh
you feeling the age?
God, the age thing is terrible. I mean, it's like in my mind, I was always super young. I always feel I was young. And then I
Yeah.
think the other day, someone like one of our employees like described me as like his work mom. I'm like, whoa,
That's
like,
not yeah. You're like, what?
okay,
How about
all
carding
right,
me? Yeah, I
yes.
can't even buy alcohol still, right?
So yeah,
Yeah.
being referred to as the work mom always is like a great. And then I started like realizing the majority of the people at my work are probably closer in age to Jake, my oldest, than they
Oh
are
my
to me.
goodness.
And
Oh
I'm like,
man.
wow, that's actually kind of depressing. And then I
That's
think I started looking around and being like, I actually might be one of the oldest women in our office, which
But you
really
know what
was
though?
like,
I bet you look just like them, right? You got the Asian genes. You look super
Yeah.
young.
The Asian
I have
genes
had a
You
though.
couple
fit right
people
in.
do a double turn. They're like, what? You've got a kid in college? I'm like,
Yeah.
I have a kid
Right.
that's older than you. And they're like, what? And so I'm like,
Yeah, you
Wow.
I'll take that
definitely
as a
don't look like you
compliment.
have a kid,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
college or above at
Yeah.
all. But
So I'll
speaking
take
of
that as a
age, isn't
compliment.
there something that is going on in your life that as people get older, they need to think
Something.
about? Something, I
Yes.
don't know.
So this whole thing about menopause, this was not something that Asian moms talk about, right? Like
Yeah.
growing up,
And Wayne and
like
I
my,
don't talk about it either.
yes, definitely not to their sons. And even as a woman, like, I don't know if this was like something because I've started going, entering the age of menopause. I know like back in the day where it's like this taboo thing. Like for me, I'm like, I don't care. Like I let people know, like, yeah, I'm of that age and I'm all good with it. But menopause is like, it's definitely been a learning thing. So it's like, I try to describe it to you guys as this. Like think of it as like the symptoms of menopause, like you have this perimenopause, which is basically the years where women start to enter into this phase, right? Where it's like you get mood swings, hot flashes, stuff like that. And so it's not immediately obvious, but you start to have some of these things. And then full on menopause is like, you get women who are like sweating, like, they start
Mm.
turning beet red and they start getting and so for me, I kind of went straight into menopause because I ended up having this hysterectomy, which we'll save for a second time, a second podcast with you guys. But I went straight into it.
Yeah.
Basically, menopause is that like you have so there's some depression and again like pregnancy not all women go through it, and I feel fortunate that I'm not having extreme versions of it, but the night sweats are terrible for me. I used to sleep through the night
Wow.
because I think being deprived as an engineer and like I used to like I can go to sleep on a subway, I can go to sleep in a concert because I'm so sleep deprived, but like so sleeping has never been an issue for me, but since going through menopause I'll wake up in the middle of the night and, and all of a sudden I'll be like, God, it can't be time to wake up because it feels dark. It's
Mhm.
dark out, but it's like
Right.
you get
And
so
then are you
hot.
sweating? And oh,
You're
so
just
wow.
you're just like, am I getting a fever right now? Like you're like all of a sudden you just get
Wow.
really
So it is like
hot.
on Sex in the City when they they portrayed it.
Yes.
Yeah, she was
It just
going
I
through.
didn't see
comes
that one, Wayne.
on.
Yeah, there was some episodes there where
Wow. So
Yes.
okay, because
But
my
it's
my wife hasn't gotten quite there yet. I think maybe she's pretty, but she gets a little bit hot, but not to wake up and it's like are you like
oh
puddle of sweat type of deal?
no, because I don't sweat. I mean, I could work out. I'm not a sweater, but I think for people, but it is bad where all of a sudden you do get this like your whole head just feels like your whole body gets warm. Like,
Mm.
weird.
like some Asians, if you don't have the enzyme right and you get
The
red when you
Oh,
drink,
right,
hepatitis
right. You have a
when
half
right?
you're
a
drinking.
beer in your
So
Okay, so now I know
body.
exactly how you feel now.
so that
Yeah,
feeling,
that's
but at
Hansel.
least at least you know you're gonna get it because you're drinking. For women,
Yeah, yeah.
it just
Oh,
comes out of nowhere where you're like, oh my God, am I like, is it hot in here? Or
oh wow.
so these hot flashes come about or these night sweats. So night sweats are terrible. You can't sleep very much. And so you go back to like thinking that, okay, after my kids are gone, I'm gonna have so not getting enough sleep sucks and the weight gain. The weight gain
Mm,
is the
Oh,
worst for women. I could eat nothing all day and still somehow
really?
gain a couple pounds. It's because my metabolism is like left the building. I mean,
Oh
right? So
man.
like women like so that's a big thing. And I feel bad for women because it's like you exercise and it's just basically you can't lose any of your weight. And so
Wow.
that's pretty so for any of you guys who your wives are going through it, you need to have a little sympathy for women. And also
yeah.
brain fog. Brain fog is the other
Oh,
thing. I can't
It's
remember.
really?
legit. Whoa.
It's words are hard and also people's names, right? So I'll see somebody, right? Wayne, so I could have seen you. I hadn't seen you in a while, and I could be like,
Yeah.
I should absolutely know your name. And Your name is nowhere near. So I see people all the time. And right now, even at work, because of my role, so like I run head of real estate at Softbank, right? So it's basically we run all the operations, the build outs, everything having to do with like employee services. So everyone knows me because I'm like the giver of things, right? Swag,
Mm.
food, all that stuff. And I can't remember anyone's name. So it's like, hey, Karen. And it's
Well,
like, and
yeah.
so
It's like,
so for
yeah.
women, it's like the brain fog goes away. You just it's sad. It's like a tough thing, I think, for women to go through. Men like lose like Hansel, you'd probably go on a 5 mile run and you'd be like, oh, I just lost 5 pounds. Like, don't tell
I
your
don't
wife
know
that.
about that, man. We still lose our metabolism. We get it around the belly, man. We
Uh,
get it too. Not as bad as you guys, though.
Not as bad. But are you eating or drinking, or is it just because you're not exercising?
Oh, I still eat a lot of crap. Yeah, I'm sure that's part of
Yeah.
it.
See,
But
that's the
yeah.
thing, right? So you get it because you're doing something. Women, we do the
Yeah.
opposite. We don't eat, we exercise, and we
Yeah.
still
Then
gain
That's
all this
crazy.
weight. So have some sympathy for
not
your
fair,
Well,
not fair.
wives.
That's true.
that's a great message. That's a great message
Yes, and
to
don't
have
get
some
mad at
sympathy.
them if they forget things.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. We're running up on time, but let's end this part of it by asking you what is your White Castle in life?
My White Castle. I think, funny enough, so professionally, when I was always a little kid, I always wanted to be a COO. I think whatever
Not a
I
CEO, but a
not a
COO.
CEO because
Okay.
Wow.
I loved running. I always loved having a say how things ran.
Mm.
Right. So it was always like I like whatever we did. And my mom was like, yeah, you're always three. And there's always like all the neighborhood kids would be following you around because you were telling people what to do and stuff. So I always thought like, God, I want to be a COO one day. And so I think my White Castle, so I think while I'm not the COO of SoftBank, sadly, um,
Yeah. Well,
Sadly,
I
uh,
mean, they're about to promote you, I think, right?
yes, I think, yeah, I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's on
Yeah, it's on the
somebody's
way.
mind.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
but head of sales or head of real estate is pretty close, though, right? Is that where you're about to get
Yeah.
to? You're
It's like the poor
basically,
man COO, right?
There
It's
you
like
go.
the essentially I
yes.
do, but so my White Castle, my job, I do love doing what I do, right? So it's
Oh,
like,
that's great.
it's coming up with the workplace, it's figuring out how to run things, it's having all these different events. So that for me has been, and I laugh at my dad, I laugh with my dad because I said, Dad, like I made my way back to architecture, right? Like I knew I would figure out a way to like get back into, because all my build outs now, well, I don't do the actual drawings, but I have a huge say in terms of like,
You
how
review the drawings,
offices.
right? And you,
Well, the best thing is actually I come up with all the drawings, and then the architects have to do all the technical
oh,
aspects of it.
oh, cool.
So
Oh,
it's
that's even
even
cooler.
better. I'm like,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is how I want
yeah.
it. I'm like, you guys make it work, but this is what I want. So,
Oh, that's
um,
perfect.
so that'd be my White Castle. Personally, I would love to be a professional golfer. Sadly,
Ooh,
I would
That would take a
never.
lot.
It would take a lot. I did get a hole in one though, so that was
Oh,
nice.
my
That is
yes.
awesome.
what is your handicap?
Oh, yeah, doesn't match my hole in one. I don't get to play enough because I work so much, but
Oh,
I'll
okay.
I'll try to shoot in the 90s.
That's
Um,
Okay.
good.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm working towards 80s now that the kids. I stopped playing golf once I had Jake, and I stopped playing for 20 years, and then just like 5 years ago, I started picking up again.
Oh, perfect.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so
You play
that
a
would
lot with your
be.
husband? He's really good too, isn't he?
He is great at like he's like my perfect caddy because he tells me like he understands that like he's so smart where he like no like I'll hit something and if it goes like way right he's like clearly you're doing this like go up like put the ball up in your stance or do something like mechanically he knows he'll look at it
Mm.
and figure it
Oh,
out.
wow. Okay.
And so
Nice.
he's great at telling me stuff like for him to hit like he's okay as a golfer but he hasn't played in a while.
He can't
You
tell
So
just
himself then the same things, I guess.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
You just like him to tell you what to do. That's
I
awesome.
was like, just
What a
tell
great
me what
message.
to do. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
But
Wayne, hit that gong, man. Let's get to
Yeah.
the Haru quiz
Haru,
portion.
how
Haru.
Asian
All
are
right.
you?
We're going to keep this light and easy and ask you some random Asian questions here. So, question number one. No, you can't look this up on the internet because actually it's pretty easy question. So, on a panda, picture a panda, a real panda, the head is
okay.
mostly white, except for what parts of a panda is not white?
Oh, I don't know. His eye?
It's gotta be.
Its eyes. Yep. What else? Can you guys picture what a panda looks like?
Uh
I'm
his
picturing.
I'm picturing maybe the back of like his forearm or something. Like,
Oh, actually, I don't know. I was just looking at the head. I only have a picture.
oh, just the head, just the head.
rest.
Oh, okay. His eyes, and then maybe his ears or something.
His ears.
Oh, wow.
Very
I
good.
almost was going to say his mouth, but
I was actually like trying to picture what an actual panda
definitely
looks
the
like. I had to
eyes
look it up.
popped. The eyes definitely popped. The ears,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good call.
Yeah.
Nice.
Double
Okay.
Asian answer. There you
Question
go.
number 2 of pop culture Asian question here. Which of these was invented in China? Which of these foods
Oh, God.
was invented in China? Beef broccoli, chop suey, or tofu? Because you know a lot of these are actually invented in America.
Yes,
Even though they're
right.
Chinese food.
Yeah, right.
Probably
Like General
orange
Chow's chicken, right?
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
General
right.
Toe. Like, who
So
is
I'm gonna
this General Toe? Was he a real
Yes.
general?
Like, yeah, no. I'm gonna
I actually
say
like that stuff,
tofu.
though.
Tofu is correct.
Woo!
Very nice.
Beef with broccoli? No, that is not.
I kind of thought beef with broccoli would have been Chinese, actually.
Yeah.
But apparently
maybe
they don't use broccoli in China. Is that right? They don't use like Western broccoli? I don't
Well,
know.
maybe not Western broccoli, right?
Right. Yeah, Chinese
Because it's Western.
Chinese broccoli, yeah.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
We don't know, but anything at Panda Express or whatever, yeah.
So let's see. All right, last question is a 50-50 shot. What is the most widely spoken language in the world? It could only be one or the other.
Yeah.
What is the most? Okay, I'm gonna say
How about
Mandarin.
one of the top 2? Mandarin. It's not correct because it's a trick question. It's the other one. English.
English. Oh,
Mandarin is super close though. It is actually
English.
It's the highest native spoken, but English is the highest spoken. See how I tricked you? See how I tricked you?
That is a trick because this is like an Asian quiz and then
That's
English.
right.
And English seems like that's the obvious answer. So you would think,
Yeah,
I'm
too
not going to
obvious.
pick that. Too obvious.
But did you guys hear about this? Apparently, China just passed this law where everybody has to learn Mandarin now. Did you guys hear about this? This is pretty recent. But I guess before you could, I don't know, learn Mongolian or whatever in different parts of China.
oh yeah.
But now in China, it's got to be Mandarin.
Well, same with Hong Kong, right? They used to be Cantonese, and then
Yeah.
they all had to learn Mandarin.
I feel like Cantonese is a dying language also. But everybody should learn Mandarin now. Maybe that'll take over as number 1 pretty soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right, Wayne, how did Karen Kong do?
Kong
Wang.
Yeah, that was my
Wang
other question.
Karen.
Did you ever consider not changing your last name to Wang if people were calling you Kong?
I know, right?
You
Well, a lot of
know,
times people be like Kong, and they'd look at me like, and I'm like
Wang?
King. And well, I would, well, they'd say Kong, like, and I'd say like King, and they'd be like, and they kind of look, do a double take, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, Kong Wong would, yeah, not a favorite thing of mine. So.
But with that, yeah, no, you aced it. You actually did ace the Haru quiz. So
yes,
whether
my parents would be so proud.
That's right. Let's call your dad. I'm sure he'll. It's not a B plus. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
All right, let's wrap the podcast with the our favorite question, which is, what is your life tip for the Asians out there, Colin?
Life tip. Well, okay, so I know that everyone is such a hurry to get from point A to point B, right? And I always tell my kids, like, don't set the small stuff. And sometimes your detour in life is actually the path you were meant to take, right? And so I just think for Asians, we are so focused on, like, you got to get ahead, you got to do this, and it's like, there's no room for errors and stuff like that. And raising our 3 kids, for me, I do feel like life tip is like, you're gonna mess up, it's okay, right? And it's just like, it's part of the journey, right? And maybe, I always tell my kids, like, everything that happens maybe was meant to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't fight it. So, life tip is like, just be okay to learn, right? And it doesn't have to mean like academically, but like, if you make a mistake, like, figure out what you can do better, right? That's the biggest thing, is like, life's it's not like the Olympics, like you got one shot to do something right. It's more of a, hey, you do it, you fail, then figure out what you did wrong, and then try it again and just keep improving. I think the only thing we ask our kids is, like, as long as you just keep trying to make an effort to improve, then like that's so. Like, my life tip is like, don't take life so seriously. It's okay if you fail. Like, I know you hear that. Like, just don't be an idiot, right? And just just, I mean, be humble. Like that's another thing, I mean, I don't
It's
know.
awesome because I feel like that is our generation's sort of Asian way, because our parents' generation's Asian way was just, you got to do it no matter what, you're gonna do this. But now we all kind of step back a bit and like, we still want you to be successful, but kind of do it in your own way. Like, don't feel so
Yeah.
stressed out about it and always have to get A's and all that stuff. Different kind of successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's
But
important. I think,
I like the part about just always improving because I'm trying to, yeah, my daughters are playing tennis and it is just like there's going to be always 1,000 other people so much better than you. You can't get caught up in all that as long as you're improving. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
I
just
mean,
try
Don't.
to, yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's, Ted Lasso. You guys watch Ted Lasso? Like
Yeah.
be a goldfish, right? Like we tell our kids, we're like, just flush
It's
stuff. Like don't let stuff just sit with you, right?
yeah.
And let it go. I don't
Of
know.
course,
And
that's
then
easy for us to say because we're adults.
yeah, I
Yeah.
We're
know,
still like in the high
exactly.
stress part of their life.
No, I
I
know.
know.
They're
It's
freaking
tough.
out.
But,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last thing I'd say is I know all the mental health stuff for kids and the social media, which I thank God,
Oh,
we didn't have to live
thank
through.
goodness. Yeah. I was just like all the stuff that would have ruined my life.
Yeah. I mean, so, one of my friends told me this and I thought was a great quote was like, hey, don't compare your insides with people's outsides.
mm,
Right. And so like all the
yeah,
social media posting of people's lives being
yeah.
perfect and
Perfect.
like this and that, like that's their outside. And what's happening inside of you. And I was like, and what you're comparing to is not the same. Right. That's
Yeah,
just a mask. And so don't think that everyone's world is like rosy and great because everyone's going through something. Right.
yeah,
And so I kind of hold that true to people. I'm like, listen, like they look like they have a great marriage, or they look like they have a great job or whatever. And a lot of times it's, yeah, I just tell my kids like, hey, you can't be don't get too overly bogged down or concerned about that stuff, right?
yeah. And it's hard because of all the social media out there. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, Kong, I think that is a great way to wrap this podcast. Appreciate your time today. That's really good catching up with you.
Yeah.
Congrats on all your success.
Super fun.
We are sponsored by none other than the Coder School, a company that teaches kids how to code with over 70 locations all around the country. So if you're interested in getting your kids to code, head online and check us out. Learn to code, change the world. Thanks for listening.